Sons and I'll let you guys introduce each other. And
Okay.
Go like that.
Cool.
Hey, it's Greg here again with Gag Order, hanging out with the Bad Sons here in Boston. And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Ray.
I'm Christo.
I'm Gavin. Miles.
And you guys have your debut album coming out soon.
Yes, June 24th.
And the name of it is?
Language and Perspective.
And what's your favorite song off of it?
I don't know. It's kind of a tough question because I think I personally love all 11 of them equally. Right now, because in the live setting, I guess, we're playing a new song called Dancing on Quicksand. And I think that's my favorite right now just because it's the most fresh in the set. So I'm spending that kind of quality time with it. What about you guys?
My favorite song is definitely the last song on that album, Rear View. I'm excited for people to hear that. I really like that song. So
What's so special about Rear View?
I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but something about it,
Kind of one of those songs you listen to and you're just like, yes,
yeah, it resonates with me. So
That was a fun one. That song kind of started where, that was one of the last songs, I think it was the last song we wrote for the album. And we were in the studio and we kind of just decided like, all right, well we have a handful of songs here, but we should just write another one anyways. What should we do? And then we kind of talked about what we would want a song to sound like a new Bad Son song that didn't exist to sound like. And then we just went in the room and Gavin just started playing the bass line, which is the opening bass line, was the first thing he did. And we were like, all right, well there we go. And we just kind of built it around that. So it was a very cool and spontaneous
very organic, just like it just happened, it clicked and it went.
And it's cool, and as soon as we wrote it was like, all right, that's the last song on the album, and it fades out in a really cool way, and it's I'm glad we ended the album with that song.
It makes a lot of sense to end an album with a fade out, and
absolutely.
The name really hawks to like the end of like a rear view, like checking the past, obviously type idea, I guess.
Yeah, I like the way it all unfolded.
Very cool. And so you have a very interesting logo, Ziasun,
Ziasun, yes.
Ziasun. And can you explain to me anything about like
yeah,
the symbology?
Yeah, totally. Well, I was designing a poster or something like that, and I searched sun symbol because the band name is Bad Sons, obviously. And I saw that, and I liked it immediately, and I started looking into it, and we all started talking about it and read about it, and we liked a lot of what it had to deal with the 4 points, the 4 seasons in a year, the 4 stages of a life, the 4 sections of a day, all these things, and I think this band is completely based around the number 4 and the dynamic of the band and the sound and the 4 instruments, the guitar, the drums, the bass, the voice, things like that, and it seemed unique to the band and it felt very fitting and we like it a lot.
Right, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, obviously, all the different number 4s and everything like that makes perfect sense.
Plus it just looks pretty cool as well.
It does look pretty sweet. It reminds me almost of like a pattern I had seen in like the opening scene of like a Rugrats. You know how they have little squiggles and stuff like that? Kind of has a little Rugratty thing to it.
Well, you got us. That's what we were going for.
Got it perfectly. It's all 90s relevant.
Absolutely.
Has the rest of you, like, has music always been like in your families and stuff like that, or?
I think in separate ways. Miles comes from a family of musicians. Our families, my family always was playing music in the house. I'm sure that's true to the rest of us. And I think we all kind of found music in our own unique ways. And eventually, as we were a little bit older, that's what brought us all together and led to the beginning of the band.
Very cool. And so where did you guys meet? Like, how did Bad Sons form?
Gavin and I met in middle school in science class on the first day of school. And then the rest of us all kind of just met through being in a community of musicians, I suppose. Where we live in Los Angeles, there's a bunch of music venues and a bunch of talented people that all kind of get together, and we all met through that kind of circuitry.
Okay, very cool. And so you're working on, through like the work with the EP, you're working with someone pretty entwined with music as well, like through, I think, Waves and Trash Talks. Eric?
Yeah, our producer Eric Palmquist.
Yes, and how did that all come about?
He's somebody that we met through mutual friends in the music industry, and he had heard one of the early demos that we had written, and he seemingly liked it. He reached out to us. We met up, kind of talked about what it was that what drew us to music personally, and we kind of just started the relationship in that sort of a sense, where we were kind of just getting to know each other and what it was that we wanted to accomplish. And over the course of a year, we sort of just kept writing songs, and we'd send them to him, and we'd just kind of do that and find our own sound naturally. And he pushed us to really find our own sound, and yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it.
Kind of like a third-party set of ears to really, as opposed to, especially when you're working on something, you're so dived into the details to have someone else come in and listen to it from an outsider's perspective, I guess.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that this band really needs because there's four explosive personalities, especially musically.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need that one person to kind of help steer a
Help
little
navigate, yeah, exactly. Kind of
Absolutely.
clean it up and stuff like that.
bit.
And so you're on tour right now with the 1975.
Yes.
They're having a huge year.
Oh yeah.
And so what have you learned anything from them? Have they, you know, how is the tour, you know, going in terms of, you know, building you guys networking and like musically?
The tour's been really good. I think if there's anything we've learned from them or anything that we've kind of caught on about them that we've appreciated is I feel like there are not too many bands in the position that they're in right now who seem to be as genuine and seem to really put as much effort into the show and into the music and as much thought and as much of themselves into it. I feel like a lot of it can always seem a little bit fabricated or, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, predetermined, and what they're doing, I like it. I don't know.
Bring a very genuine quality to the on-stage performance.
Absolutely, yeah, and just everything that they do, you can tell is very thought out and it's very them, and they're genuine guys and they're grateful to be where they are, and it's cool.
Very cool. And so what are you expecting on a Boston night? Sold out show, which is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's kind of an early show, but
Yeah.
the crowd seems huge.
The crowds have been incredible all over the place. Boston, we've only played here once, and it was in a much different setting. So I think we're excited to see what this venue has to offer. It's beautiful on the inside, so we're
Yeah,
very
it's
happy.
really
We
nice.
love Boston, especially this guy.
Yeah.
So we all have unique relationships with Boston. I actually went to the Berklee School of Music for a little bit,
Oh, no kidding.
2010, and yeah, so we've all spent a good amount
Very
of time
cool.
here.
And what's your story with Boston?
My girlfriend went to Emerson.
Okay, so she's like right there.
Yeah, I've been out here quite a few times.
Okay.
She graduates tomorrow, so that's.
Are you gonna stay in town for like the whole ceremony thing, or?
I wish I could. I can't.
Probably no time.
She just did a semester back home in LA, and actually just happened to fly back for graduation. So I was with her in LA right before I left, and just kind of, it turned out that we ended up here at the same time.
Now we all get to party and hang out at the Bad Sons 1975 show.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so let the people know where they can find your music, find you guys, and.
It's fairly easy online, just Bad Sons, BADSUNS. That's the one thing you have to clarify. It's a U, not an O, because that can make things.
No dollar signs either for the
Yeah,
S's.
no dollar signs.
No like V's.
Yeah, no V's or X's for
Taking out the syllables.
just Bad Sons.
Simple as that, and yeah, it's pretty easy to find. Twitter, Facebook, I don't know, just Google us.
Cool. And that's the Bad Sons here in Boston, and we're signing out.
Right on.